Have you ever looked up at the night sky and just been floored by how big it all is? Billions of galaxies, billions of stars in each one. And it makes you wonder, right? Where is everybody? The universe should be buzzing with life, but all we get is silence. A really, really loud silence. So, let's get into it. Let's explore this massive cosmic mystery. You know, this entire puzzle really kicked off with this one simple question. Picture this. It's 1950, and the physicist Enrico Fermi is just having lunch with some friends. They're chatting about UFOs, and he just blurts it out. So where is everybody? It was so simple, yet so profound, it basically created one of the biggest scientific questions of all time. And that question, well, it's the heart of what we now call the Fermi paradox. It's a complete head-scratcher built on this massive, glaring contradiction. And if we're going to have any hope of solving the great silence, we've got to understand this paradox first. So here it is in a nutshell. On one hand, you look at the sheer numbers, the number of stars, the number of planets, and it seems totally logical that the galaxy should be crawling with alien civilizations, many way older and smarter than us. But on the other hand, we've got nothing. Zilch. No radio signals, no alien megastructures, not even a single probe saying hi. Just emptiness. And to really get why this is so weird, think about this. Our sun is basically a teenager in cosmic terms. There are countless stars out there that are billions with a B, billions of years older. That's an unbelievable head start. Any civilization that popped up back then should have had more than enough time to spread across the entire galaxy. And yet, we see no one. So seriously, where are they? All right, so the first and maybe most obvious suspect in this whole mystery is just distance. I mean, the scale of space is so mind-meltingly huge that it might just be the perfect prison, keeping every civilization stuck on its own little rock. Let's try to wrap our heads around this. Our closest neighbor, the Alpha Centauri system, is 270,000 astronomical units away. Okay, what does that even mean? Well, 1 AU is the distance from the Earth to the Sun. So it's 270,000 times that? Yeah, the numbers get so big they just start to sound fake, don't they? So what does that distance mean for travel? Well, if we took our fastest ship ever, the Voyager probe, and aimed it right at Alpha Centauri, it would still take over 100,000 years to get there. That's not a long road trip. That's practically a geological era. And if the time commitment doesn't scare you, maybe the price tag will. To send one single colony ship to the nearest star at just a tenth of the speed of light, you'd need about $2.5 quintillion worth of energy. That's about 40,000 times the GDP of the entire planet right now. It's an absolutely absurd number. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but we'll just invent faster engines, right? Well, there's a problem. Physics itself says nope. Einstein's theory of special relativity lays down the law. Nothing with mass can hit the speed of light. It's the ultimate cosmic speed limit. This isn't an engineering hurdle we can just jump over. It's a fundamental rule of how the universe works. Okay, so it all sounds pretty impossible, doesn't it? The distances are insane, the costs are ridiculous, and physics has put up a giant stop sign. But are we really trapped here forever? Maybe not. Let's look at some of the wild technologies that might just be our ticket to the stars. So, the chemical rockets we use today, think the Saturn V that took us to the moon, they're just not going to cut it for interstellar travel. They're way too inefficient. But nuclear rockets? Now we're talking. Using the power of the atom is about 1,000,000 times more efficient. We have real concepts that could get us up to 10% of light speed. That's a game changer. And this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy. Seriously, back in the 1970s, a bunch of brilliant scientists designed something called Project Daedalus. It was a fusion-powered starship. This was a real hardcore engineering study, and they showed it was possible to get an unmanned probe to a nearby star in just 50 years. 50, that's within a human lifetime, and they figured this out decades ago. And there are even crazier ideas out there. Things like solar sails, which are basically giant space parachutes that catch starlight to move, or massive interstellar arcs, city-sized ships for journeys that take generations. And then, the holy grail, matter-antimatter engines. Theoretically, they could get us up to 90% the speed of light. Just incredible! So here's the bottom line. Interstellar travel is super hard, no doubt about it. And it's wildly expensive. But the laws of physics say it can be done. It is not impossible. And for a civilization that's just a bit more advanced than us, spreading across the galaxy in a few million years seems completely doable. Which, of course, slams us right back into our original problem.
So if it's possible to travel between the stars, then there must be another reason for the silence. Something else is going on. So now we're going to get into the good stuff, the 3 leading theories that try to explain this whole cosmic mystery.
When you boil it all down, there are really 3 main buckets of answers. First, we're it. We are totally alone. Second, lots of civilizations exist, they just never leave home. And third, the one that really gives you goosebumps, they're out there, but they're hiding from us.
Let's start with the first one. It's the simplest and maybe the loneliest answer. Maybe we are the first. The sheer number of things that had to go perfectly right for intelligent life to emerge here might be so insanely improbable that it's only happened once in the whole galaxy, right here. But what if we're not special? What if life is common? Well, maybe they just all decide to stay home. It could be that space is just way more dangerous than we think. Or maybe that burning human desire to explore is actually rare. But the really scary version of this theory is something called the Great Filter. The idea is that there's some kind of wall that every single civilization eventually hits, and it destroys them. Nuclear war, climate change, a killer AI, take your pick. And that brings us to the third possibility. What if the galaxy is already colonized and we're just not invited to the party? This is called the zoo hypothesis. It suggests that we're living in a kind of cosmic nature preserve. Super advanced aliens are watching us, maybe studying us, but have a strict do not disturb policy until we're mature enough to handle the truth.
So where does all this leave us? Well, every one of these possible answers has absolutely massive implications for humanity. The Great Silence isn't just some abstract puzzle for scientists to think about. It's like a giant mirror reflecting what our own future could be. I mean, just think about it. If we are truly alone, the first and only flicker of consciousness in a 14-billion-year-old universe, then our existence is almost unbelievably precious. It means the entire responsibility for carrying that spark of life out into the cosmos rests on our shoulders. It means everything we do here matters on a cosmic scale. The stakes just couldn't be any higher. So as we all look up at that same night sky, we're left with this enormous question. Are we the first to walk this path? Are we just the next in a long line of civilizations doomed to fail? Or is there a vast galactic society out there just waiting for us to figure things out? The answer, whatever it is, will ultimately tell us everything we need to know about our place in the universe.